Hello guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to show you guys how to set buy binds in CSGO. So, I mean, this ain't a really useful feature, but it is for me. And obviously you've came here because you want to know how to do it, or you want to know what the best keys are to set it to, or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to show you. So, the website is called csgobinds.com. Just type that in, or I'll leave a link in the description. I probably won't because I'll probably forget unless you remind me, but you can see it right there, csgobinds.com, and then you just go and try the buy binds generator. So if you just want to set a single key, like it's really simple to use, but I'm just going to show you anyway. The single key generator is basically for like one key or a certain class kind of thing, but this ain't the best. If you want buy binds, you might as well do everything. So I'm not going to show you, well actually I will, okay, so this might be a long video, but I'll try and be as fast as possible. So, on the right side of your keyboard you have a keypad, and this is where you will be navigating your buys at the beginning of the round. And this saves a lot of time, especially if your teammate asks for a drop and it's quite late into the buy round already. For example, you get, I think it's 10 seconds you get, but I'm not too sure. So say if somebody is a bit too late and then they need a drop, you can do it fast. Anyway, let's do this. So you click on whatever keys you want. Just let me explain first. So enter. I use this for my AK and the M4. Let's show you what I mean. So here you go. You just go on primary weapon, and I've set this to AK, M4A4, M4A1S, and then that's what I've set it to. So I'd press save. And then my plus button is set to Kevlar and helmet, so I'll save that. My minus is set to an AWP because, you know, I use the AWP as well. And basically it's just like this. Obviously you can customize this yourself, just look into it, but these are my preferred settings. Okay, so my, I think it's asterisk is, oh it's multiply, my bad, is set to, whereabouts is it? Smoke grenade. And then my page up is set to HE grenade. I'm just remembering this myself, and it's a lot easier when you're in game because you're just used to it anyway. So my right arrow key is actually set to flashbangs, and I've not put ×2 because I can just press it twice if I want, but I actually buy one of each. So I buy a Molotov, a smoke grenade, a nade, a HE grenade, and a flashbang. So I just set it to one. I can always press it twice though. And my number 3 is set to a Molotov, which I've been using a lot more recently, and my delete is set to a decoy. I don't really use decoy, but it's just there if I want to, and it's all in the same column, so it's simple. And my slash is set to Kevlar vest, because if you need that in pistol round, or you just need it in general, it's always good to get to. My number 8 is set to, or my up arrow key is set to the P250. So let's get to that. P250, save. My number 5 is set to the Tech 957 and CZ Auto. I just keep them in like classes, because if I was to put, you know, a P250 as home and then a 57 as arrow down or something, it would just get confusing, I'd imagine. So I try to keep it in classes, and it just keeps it a lot easier. And then my down arrow is set to a Desert Eagle. But obviously you might not even use these weapons, so you can put it to whatever you want. You could put that to, I don't know, an SG. Well, actually, put it to whatever you want. Just look for it. But I'm just telling you my preferred, you know. Because especially my right hand, I'd use my right hand to buy. So I'll take it off the mouse, and then I'll just press enter plus, and then multiply 9, right arrow, and 3, and then that'll get all my my main stuff. So that's all done. And I actually put insert as the diffuse kit on the CT side because it's just right there, and it actually reminds me to buy it as well, because a lot of the time I do forget, and because it's a big key I just notice it. That's how I see it anyway. So my number 1 is actually set to, wait, let me think right now, is set to, wait, I don't use this, so I guess it's scat, oh no, sorry, I do use this, my bad. It's actually set to the Galil and the Famis. And then my number 4 key is set to the SSG, the Scout Sniper, because I do like it. It's a very, very, very good gun. So SSG, oh wait, sorry. And then my home is actually set to... Why am I forgetting right now? It's set to an MP7 because it's my preferred SMG, sorry. So, yeah, there we go. I mean, you can set these to whatever you want. You could put the home to a P90, but if you notice, I kept them in like order. So I put all the main items. So say if you bought an SG or an AUG over the AK, you could put that to enter if you want. Just make it so it's easier for you. That's what it's for. It's for efficiency. And like I said, if you need to buy your teammates some items, you can do that fast enough, and then you're not getting tracked behind them and the, you know, you're too slow or whatever. So there it is. And then moving on, I actually had to do this a certain way, but I'll show you the proper way to do it. It just didn't work for me at the time. Maybe it was a problem. But so then what you do is go and generate binds, and then you'll get the generated bind here. So I was gonna copy that, but apparently it didn't let me. So I'm just gonna copy all this, copy, and then here you want to open up your config. So let's do this. Okay, so best way to do this, you can find this anyway. I just go on Steam, go on the game, right click, go into local files, and then browse local files, and then I go in CSGO, CFG, and then here you go. So I'm going to full screen this, and then I'm going to right click on here, I'm going to create a new document. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to open up Notepad. This is the easier way anyway, and then we need to go, just paste it in here, and that's all you have to do. Then you save as, and then you save it in the CFG as all files, and then you put it as autoexec.cfg, exactly like that, autoexec.cfg, and then you save that, and then what you want to do is just save. You can exit off, you don't need it anymore, and then you right click, no you don't, you go into your config here, open this up, and then you could open this up in Notepad++, but I just use the normal Notepad because why not? And then you go right to the end or right down to the bottom if you're using Notepad++. Make sure there's space, and then you put in is exec space autoexec.cfg, and then you would press save. But because I'm not going to be using that right now, I'm not going to do that. You just press save, that's all you do, and I'm not doing it because mine's all set up. I don't want it to be messed with right now. And then all you do is just load up your game, and then it'll be all there. Get practice with them. I'd go into a game with bots, a competitive offline game with bots, just to practice with it. That's what I did, and it was a bit easier, because if you start going into a game, you start buying random guns and you forget your keys, then that's always bad. But they're really useful, and that's the best way to do it. Or in my case, I had to actually go onto my developer console. I'll explain this because I'm sure you know what this is. I ain't got my game open right now. So you go into your developer console on CSGO, open that up, and then you copy each of these in individually into the console. So you just right click copy. I put my game into windowed mode and I used my other monitor and it was a lot faster, but you could just keep tabbing out on window mode and just copy and paste them in individually, and they will save. It's a tiny bit slower, but think about it, you only have to do it once, so it doesn't take long. It took me 30 seconds. To be honest, the other way would have took 30 seconds, but at least you know it's there in your config. So this was quite long, but I went into quite depth with this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.